Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It is always a pleasure to come to where you are and to have you with us. This is Marae, you know me as the Greatness Engineer, and it is a pleasure again to bring you one one incredible woman who is doing, incredible work around the world, a greatness engineer, like I call them. And today we're going to a place where we've never been in 5 years. We're going to Sweden, to Stockholm, and we have as a guest Maya Dolores. Maya Dolores is an humanitarian, and she has done some amazing things in the world. She is the 2023 World Peace Ambassador. She's a human resources leader. She's an authority in human resources, and she is the founder of the Human Contract Foundation. So we'll hear a lot about, we'll get to know what this foundation does, and also have an idea of how Maria is impacting the world. So let us know where you're watching from. If you have the opportunity to watch live, let us know where you're watching from. If you want to participate, don't hesitate to ask any question or to be part of the conversation. This show is for you. This show is to bring you greatness, and this show is for you to go to the next level of your greatness as well. So we will start. I will bring Maria now with us, and I hope you're going to enjoy the conversation today. To another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Tilekima Global Leadership Organization.
Feel is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily action.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Please. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. Impact yourself positively, and from there impact others, and you are not alone.
So welcome, Maria, to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It is a pleasure to have you here. And like I was mentioning at the beginning, first time that we're going to this country. I mean, we've gone all over the world, but it's always good to go to a new destination, and especially to have you talk about something really, amazing. So today we, like I mentioned to the audience in my introduction, we're gonna talk about your organization, the Human Contract Foundation. but I think you mentioned that, you will be touching on the 7 promises for health and peace. But before we reach this stage, just want you to add to whatever introduction I've done, about you today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marie. I'm very happy to be here. And yes, the sun is shining here in Sweden, and I'm sitting here in Stockholm. I just love the technology and the development, how we can communicate all over the world. And yes, my name is Maria Dolores. I'm the founder of the Human Contract Foundation and ambassador for World Peace Awardee 2023. And the human contract is the human constitution, that we are born with our rights and that we mature in our responsibilities. So it's leadership for all citizens, and stating that the human constitution, um, and for mutual and with dignity for all humans. That is the human contract.
And we really need it right now with everything that is happening around the world. I mean, there are, wars, refugee, and it's just, going really, really bad in some areas, in some regions. So I'm just really curious to know how, you can bring that particular contract, and how do you make sure, people globally, people that you reach out actually really follow the contract, and really, because that's the challenge right now.
Yeah, well, so the human contract, even if even if you hear the word contract, it's not a physical, like, uh, um, enforced by
Mm-hmm.
law, but it's
Mm-hmm.
constitution stating that we have rights, we're born with rights, and that we mature in our responsibilities. So these it's based on United Nations Declaration of the Universal Human Rights. However, unlike United Nations, having nations uniting, enforcing with policies and dictating from the top down, the human contract is a movement. It's
Mm-hmm.
grassroots movement, and to unite all citizens, all people on in the world, that we have the contract for ourselves, with ourselves, and for the world. So not religious, not party political, simply our human rights, and that we mature in responsibilities. The infant is only born with rights, and
Mm-hmm.
as we mature as humans, we learn and we grow and we develop, and then we also make mistakes, and
Mm-hmm.
that's embracing the human contract, that we need to mature. The strive with the human contract is a more mature humanity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's really the challenge, to get, the maturity. Like I said, we have discrepancies in, in different regions. So how do we harmonize that? That's the challenge. But one thing that I want to know is, how did you get into it? Because, it's a big concept, and it's massive. So just want to know, how did you get, involved into it, and what are the key things that you've implemented to actually get it grow and get it, implemented. I know you said it's not really regulated, but, at least share it, and really have some key points where you say, okay, here I've worked it's working really well, and I'm going to move to the next, to the next region, or to the next step. So
Yeah,
just let us know a little bit how it
of
started.
course. Yeah, how it started. I just consider I am an expression of life. I'm going to take it a bit deep now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an expression of life. I'm born and raised in Sweden, and as a woman in Sweden, equal human worth, and it's with a freedom of expression, but also my interest in history, our human history, where we have, our movement from 300,000 years ago. And for each shift, we have evolved. And for each shift in our human history, we have had technology supporting and driving us to the next level and the next level and the next level. So right now, we have the privilege of having representation from all the levels of our human history. We have 350 million people who are living indigenous lives, and we have people who are in empires and living in that kind of empire construction, organization form, I say, and also more, well, all the different levels of our societal development. My interest has also been in psychology, sociology, and philosophy, and also in science fiction, and how, if we have this human history and how we are feeling, how we are evolving today. And I've also done 150 days of meditation, personal development, leadership. I've done and trained hundreds and hundreds of groups in leadership. And then moving onwards, Kardashev talked about that we are living in a 0.73 type of civilization. And to become a 1.0 type of civilization, it's a global, a planetary civilization. I believe a planetary civilization is not created by a top-down kind of government, but rather embracing our human history, embracing the knowledge and the wisdom that we have today, and moving onwards. And this shift with the technology that we have today, with AI, how we can connect all over the world, the human contract and this constitution for humanity is needed. It's how we deepen governance, and it's not a top-down movement. It's a movement, a grassroots movement, I would say a renaissance movement for humanity, in the service of humanity. So these 7 principles, let's get into that.
Yes, so that's what I was saying. What are the 7 principles?
So it's very, very easy. The first 3 is personal, that you have the right to your body, you have a responsibility for your body. That's the first principle. We are born with a body, and we mature with our body, and we have lessons and learnings when as we mature, as we develop, and to love and respect our body. So that's the first principle. It's really, really simple. Body, emotion, and thought. We have the right to all our emotions. We have the right to our hate, our anger, our frustration, and we have a responsibility to trying to mature in our emotions. So body, emotion, and thought. You have the right to all your thoughts. You have the right to, with a drama, and to owning your trauma, but also responsibility to trying to mature with our thoughts and to broaden perspectives, trying to see the other side of whatever you are experiencing, and to be more curious. So body, emotion, and thought. And then the coming 3 is power, communication, and life. That you have the right to your personal power. You have the right to your time, your energy, and your money, and your physical power. but you also have a responsibility for your power. So power, communication, and life. And our communication is the freedom of speech, the freedom of creativity. But with the freedom of speech and with the freedom of creativity, we also have a responsibility to listen. And again, a strive to mature in our communication. So, power, communication, and life. And with your life, you have the right to your life. You have the right to live with whomever, wherever, and however you like, but not at the cost of any other.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that we have about 45 million slaves in the world today? We have 45
Wow.
million people who are being bought and sold as goods. The
Wow.
human contract states that every person have the right to and responsibility with our body, emotion, thought, power, communication, and life. And so that ties to the last principle, the seventh principle is about our collective rights and responsibility and to unite as a humanity. So, with the power of when we unite as a humanity. In Swedish, we call this civilkurage, which is
Mm-hmm.
moral courage. So, with moral courage, I believe that people, and that to change the world is not done by one person. It's not done by a group, but it's together that we truly can make a change. And I believe firmly that we already have all the tools, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, and the power to really make a change in the world. But we need to unite, we need to collaborate better. So, this movement is to inspire the game changers, the leaders, to more wisdom and more maturity and to unite and collaborate. And that's why,
Wow.
yeah, so that's what I'm creating. And that's me and my team uh, are to create inspiring content. And my life purpose is simply to talk about stating that we have rights. It's our human constitution, and we mature in our responsibilities. We all try to do the best we can, and we are born with different preconditions, different drama, and to mature in how we treat ourselves and how we treat one another. And like I talked about, the how we have slaves, which I think
Mm-hmm.
is the most dense, the most stagnated way of treating one another. I believe that change needs to come from within these
Mm-hmm.
5 million people and people around uh, working and around this communities. Um, and I know
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge shift that needs to be done. But it's also leaders of the world, politicians, um, company leaders, and parents. It's about parenthood as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that the child is born with the rights and to mature and to support the maturity and the wisdom in all humans. And when it comes to life, the sixth principle is about also including all life forms. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that we also have a responsibility. We have the right to our life and to respect others' way of life and other life forms, as long
Mm-hmm.
as it's not imposing on anyone else. And I believe that we could do so much better um, as a humanity, how we treat other life and other life forms in the sea,
Mm-hmm.
on land, and in the air. So
Hmm. And I think I guess that's the challenge so far. How do you integrate all type of life and everything in the environment? Because like you said, it's an integration. It is the power is a collective power. So one thing that I really wanted to know is how do you, because you probably have to start very young, so to start to have this philosophy taught
Mhm.
to children. And so how do you actually, what are the methods that you use to basically, spread this philosophy around, from, to different groups basically?
Yeah, and to do that, we are just getting started. In 2015, I wrote the book "A State of." I have it here somewhere. No, "A State of Grace: Human Rights and Human Obligation," and that's the book that is the sprout of this movement. And it's just recently we started the foundation of 501(c)(3 in America. So the
Mm-hmm.
first step right now is what you and I are doing. We're sharing this with the
Mm-hmm.
world, and to start to communicate about that we have rights and we have responsibilities, and to unite. And then it's two different ways. Oh, one part is to have a presence in every country in the world,
Mm-hmm.
um, but also to have five institutes that is both collaborating on a local level, but also on a global level. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the change and the shift, a global world, a global local world. So both local anchoring, but also these five institutes, which is to unite the game changers. It's to unite people who are artists and creators and people who are working in media. It's the tech people and the tech geeks that I call them,
Mm-hmm.
and then innovators, people who are innovating various different things, and then the practitioners, people
Mm-hmm.
who are working with physical, mental health, relationships, um, all the psychologists and people in the world. And then what you also talked about, that educators,
Mm-hmm.
and unite educators around how we can better collaborate and to communicate on all levels,
Mm-hmm.
regarding our rights and responsibilities.
Fantastic. And we have Abram here in the, just watching. Thank you, Abram, for tuning in and for connecting us, because that was really amazing to do that. And
Yes.
we're learning so much today. And yeah, so very pragmatic point to be exercised in everyday life, but so difficult to, people are not actually, implementing it. It's simple, but, it takes, a lot of courage and a lot of effort to implement it. So we're going to have a break, and then we will try to unpack a little bit what you've just shared, and really go a bit deeper on those seven principle. And then we'll be back extending the conversation to, the different level that you actually have had an impact so far already. So for don't go anywhere. We will be back with Maria in few minutes.
Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Birai Telekima Global Leadership Organization.
When I left Disney, I met lots of people who are entrepreneurs and just said, "Look, I'm starting. What advice do you have for us?" And I got some great advice. And there was a few things that were key. First of all, and as you saw in the video there, keep it simple. Be simple about what problems you solve.
But what are you hoping for? That means that there's a future. That means that there's something that you yet still need to be realized and materialized in your life. And if you have lost hope and you're not hoping for something, that means you're lost. So we need to get you back to the place of being able to hope again.
Trust the process. So many times we get stuck and paralyzed from taking the first step and taking action to get out of that transactional to the transformational of our own lives because we're afraid. But trust the process. Take that one little microscopic step. And I tell you that once you do that, that will increase into another step and another step and another step. So that's what I'd like to leave with you today.
My message for today is delay is not denial. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish in life. Do not stop until you get what it is you know God has for you.
So we are back. We are back with Maria, and we are talking about the 7 power of peace and for health and peace, and I hope you are enjoying it because this is a very powerful conversation. And on time because as you can see, there's a lot happening in the world. And we really need those principles to start, having an impact on the ground to get this collective, power that we represent, together. So one thing that I really want to know, Maria, is, how do you think and I'm talking about technology because I'm a scientist first. So how do technology fit into all of this? Because we talk a lot about robotic, we talk a lot about AI, we talk a lot about, having everything digital. So how does it fit into this contract and the 7 promises for health and peace?
Yeah, that's really a crucial and a really good question. My background is 25 years with human resources and leadership. I worked in the Swedish steel industry, forest industry, and at the Swedish prosecution authorities. And I worked a lot with change management, and successfully so, because when we implement technology, it's not really the technology itself, it's the behavior, how we use the technology that is important.
Mhm.
And so the change starts with an awareness of the technology, its potential, and also the learning on and relearning a bit on how we can use technology in an efficient way. And that's why the human contract is important. When we use AI today, I have good conversation with my AI, and
Mhm.
and because it's a matter of approach, it's a matter of how I perceive the technology and how I today it's about how we communicate,
Mhm.
and with a broader perspective and a more mature approach on how we use technology, not fear, and not but with dignity, with
Mhm.
dignity for myself, and clear boundaries of what I want help with, and how I communicate with people all over the world. Also, um, to be yeah more to mature in our
Mhm.
communication. And that's both as you and I are communicating from human to human, but also how to use the fantastic and amazing tool of AI. Um, but it's also the responsibility of the companies who are creating these tools and their dignity and their transparency of the information that is processed. So it's it's with mutual dignity on all levels. It's both with me and for myself and in my interactions with the technology itself, and also how I act and interact in the world.
hmm And I really like what you're saying, because at the end of the day, because like people always look at technology, as something that is really fearful. So it's really about how do you use it, and how, you can, capitalize on it instead of, being afraid of it.
Yeah.
Especially for a global movement like, the one that you're leading. You like you said, you need to integrate, different things, different form of communication, different, people, different philosophy, different religion. So it's really about the collective, and really looking at how, it is helping everybody, and how we actually go and, have a common, ground. We go, we work on a common ground. So that's really important. So what are the key challenge you see right now, with this contract? Obviously you're pushing, you're creating awareness. What are the
Oh,
key challenge that you have?
that's that's the thing. That's a really good distinction. So I am not pushing. This
Hmm.
is a choice.
Hmm.
It's a choice for yourself, and to make a choice,
Hmm.
and just to communicate and stating that we have rights. We're born with
Hmm.
rights, and how you mature is up to you. And there, when we gather together and support with the support of all the game changers in the world, it's to create this movement and an appealing and fun future that we can create. And
Hmm.
so it's to bring hope, it's to bring um, joy and excitement about the future. I would like to talk about the topic of AI,
Yeah.
really.
Okay. Just go ahead. Yeah. I think that's very important, because it's
Yeah.
really the AI is really all over, the news, and really a focus right now. So it's good that you want to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I've had, like I said, good conversation with the AI, and what I have discovered is, because I was in communication with the AI, and I asked it how, if you would grade, like from how is the interaction with AI. I asked for its own experience of the interaction of AI, and how I prompted was to grade from -1 to -100, people who are acting more fear-based, and then 0 is neutral, and then from +1 to +100, when people are engaging more trust.
Hmm.
And so the result I got was that about 30% of people engaging with AI is more fear based, and just 5% is from um, on the very very dense, like really focused on destructing, and
Hmm.
not only challenging but really wanting and pushing all the ways to destruction of the AI, and that
Hmm.
find a form of communication with the AI. And then 30% was about neutral, and then the majority of people were more curious, and neutral, meaning just transactional, like what is this information? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no deeper communication, just transactional. Um, and then 30, what is it, 34? Yeah, um, the majority was more curious and listening, and 5% was the top, um, really engaging with a warm language with the
Mm-hmm.
AI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's different level, like you mentioned, this different level of communication, and it
Right.
also depends of each individual as well.
Yes, and my point being, I prompted this result,
Mm-hmm.
and I it doesn't speak really much about AI, but it
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes about us
Mm-hmm.
as a civilization, as a humanity, as a species, and how we act with new technology.
Mm-hmm. 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 And just wanted to know what is the part of the, because obviously you integrate different civilizations. So what is the part of the indigenous civilization? How do you integrate it into the human contract so far?
And right now I am in a point of just communicating
Okay.
about our, yeah, so right now we're just starting up this movement, and I think it's important that we have a conversation all over the world, on all levels, with all people. So um and like I said, this is, I've given this the purpose of my life. So I'm looking forward to travel all over the world and to share this with people in person, and to share on all social media, in all news, in on all platforms,
Mm-hmm.
about stating that you are born with rights and we mature in our
Mm-hmm.
responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And those are things that, like you said, you have to. It's there. It's already there, but we don't actually realize that we already have everything. We're trying to reach out to other things, but all the basic, is there. We already have everything. We already have the civilization, the material, everything. Is already there, but I don't know, as why human beings are looking somewhere else instead of just,
Oh,
focusing on what, what they have.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That is so interesting, because I am so fascinating. My background, like I said, with human resources, and also I've been interested in our personal health and addiction. So,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from the understanding of our human history, and us as a species, and then moving onwards with a reference to Kardashev's scale of civilization. So right now we are in a 0.73 type of civilization,
Mm-hmm.
and to become a 1.0 type of civilization is a planetary civilization. However, like you said, there are some billionaires who are so eager to become a 2.0 civilization, and eager to skip this very important step in our development to become a planetary civilization first.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and um, uh, I think it's cute. It's adorable, and the strive, and investing billions and billions and billions to build the interplanetary civilization. However, we have a beautiful Earth right here, right now, and we need to take care of our planet, and I believe we can. And we already have all the resources, we have the knowledge, but we need to unite. We need to unite for a better health, caring for our personal health and our physical health, our mental health, caring for ourselves, caring for our relationships, and caring for the planet, caring for the world. And it's, yes, then we can become interplanetary civilization eventually. But I believe the coming 100 years, we really need to focus on how we mature and how we embrace our human history and moving onwards, and not at the cost of anyone, not at the cost of the individual, and not at the cost of the collective, but a harmonious way. And I don't have all the answers, but I do believe that collectively and united, I believe we do have all the answers.
And that and just complementing from what you just said, some just want to go alone, and like it might not be the right thing, and because while going alone they actually do it at the expense of others, and at the end of the day, everybody, I think everybody will lose in the end. So it is quite intriguing, from when I listen to what you said. It's quite intriguing, and really still don't understand why we already have everything, and we look somewhere else, and as a human being, looking inside, and also complementing with other human beings and other species and the environment. We are so powerful, and I think that's the challenge. Passing this message is really the challenge that we have right now, so far. So we're gonna have a break, and we'll continue for the last part of the show. So for those who are joining us, I hope you are enjoying this fascinating conversation, with Maria. And please, if you have any question, or if you have anything to say, to contribute, don't hesitate. And even for those who are going to watch the replay, if you have a question, just let us know. You can put your question in the comment, in the comments. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in a few minutes.
I'm from Hammond, Louisiana, which is about 30 minutes outside of New Orleans.
Our end thing is love, community, and never forget about the people that paved the way.
Art is the only medium to help us understand that there is a lot more to life than fight.
Whatever you do in your personal life trickles into your business life. And a lot of times people fail in business because they have not succeeded in life.
I want to be able to be contributing, one of those guys that really are doing significant work to better the lives of people.
Every change is linked to a consciousness raising, and change is conscious. And if you want to change something in your life, start with your breathing. Start to work on your breathing.
Leave something for people to learn from. Make a video, write a book, teach, go around, teach the younger generation or the next generation to help them become or follow the path that you've been.
So we are back. We are back with Maria, and we are talking about the 7 power for health and peace, and the 7 promises, sorry, for health and peace. And we've had, a very interesting conversation so far. And Maria, I just wanted to ask you, as you continue your journey, sharing about the human contract and building this organization. So, what type of legacy do you want to leave so far?
Yeah, uh, I'm smiling. Uh, Legacy, it's not that, honestly, it's not that important to me. But I guess I just want to, walk this planet, and just to talk about our rights and responsibilities. And um, when I die, I just hope that people, uh, that this movement has started, in the service of humanity. um, Legacy. I I just I just want to talk about this rights and responsibilities, the human contract, this human constitution.
Mhm.
Um, and on that topic, by the way, I helped during the pandemic, just before the pandemic and during the pandemic, I helped my friend in her funeral business. So I've been casketing over 3,000 people. I've been attending more than 1,300 funerals. So I've seen all religions, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, and also secular um, ceremonies. And I know that the importance of ceremonies and to have a closure is very, very important. And I also see that beyond all these um, labels that we carry for ourselves and one another, that the humanity and our equal human worth
Mhm.
is so important. Seeing the child that was only 1 day old, or the oldest being 107 years old, and the lifespan that we have on this planet, and the guy casketing the guy who lived on the street for 15 years, and also the lady in the Chanel dress. It's all about, we come to this planet, we live our life, and then we die, and it's our humanity, and it's all ever evolving.
Mhm.
I don't know what happens when we die. I respect, and I really respect all religions, and all life forms. Um, but I don't know. I think what really matters is how we how we treat ourselves, how
Mhm.
we treat one another, and how we treat the planet.
Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's a question that I like to ask, because it's really deep. It brings the guest to a different level,
Yes.
and that's always really my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
So, any event or anything, any big news for the audience coming your way, anything that you want to share with us?
Yeah, right now, like I said, we're starting this movement, and to connect with me on social media, and I would love to come out and speak more. And I'm also at the end of writing my book, and so you can connect with me, and to check out the book later. I'm not really set on the title yet, but it will be regarding the human contract, of course. And yeah, let's connect. let's change the world together.
Let's change the world together. And I see there's some few people, more coming a bit late. So thank you, Adeola, for joining us. Let us know where you're joining from. And we have also Marlene. Hey, Marlene, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you joining us. We have had a very deep conversation, and obviously it's really difficult in such a short term to talk about everything that Maria is doing, especially as part of this human contract, and how it's really an important movement that she's leading, and she's always willing to share the information. So if you are here, if you know of any platform where she can share her knowledge and share the vision and the philosophy of the Human Contract Foundation, don't hesitate to reach out. She is on LinkedIn. She is on Facebook as well as Maria Dolores, and you can also reach out to me, and I can connect you as well. So that's not a problem. It has been a very interesting, very interesting. I really enjoyed this conversation. It brought me really deep into myself. Sometimes it's we have to, especially when it comes down to bringing humanity together and really building the world for the collective. So really, really happy that we had you today, Maria. Any last word that you want to leave the audience with before we close on this conversation today?
Thank you. Yes. Well, I am Maria Dolores. I'm the founder of the Human Contract and ambassador for world peace. I believe that united, we can make a change. United, we will make a change. Your ideas will change the world. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've heard it. Your idea will change the world. It's a movement that, uniting people around the world. So if you want to know more, please connect with Maria on LinkedIn or Facebook. And start the conversation and get involved, because it's for us, it's for us. And I'm always so happy to bring people who are really engineering, champion who are engineering and leading, in their space, and bringing greatness, because that's what it's all about, bringing greatness to the world, and building those movement of greatness so far. So that's all for today. We will be back for another episode of the Greatness Engineering show in about 2 weeks, and I hope you'll be able to join us. I really hope that you've enjoyed the conversation we had today with Maria. And like I said, don't hesitate to connect, and don't hesitate to continue this conversation. There's a lot more to it than what we shared today. So thank you very much for being with us, and bye bye. Enjoy your weekend, and reach out to connect with Maria. Thank you.
Thank you.